Hi, I'm Mrs. Borah, and our school matters because every single one of our students matter.
Hi, I'm Mr. Ryden, and this is Our School Matters, a podcast where I talk to students, staff, faculty, administrators, and others involved in the Richland County Community Unit 1 School District in Olney, Illinois. Today, I am not in my studio at the school, but as you can see, if you're watching on VAT Club's Facebook page or YouTube page on our video stream that we have now, you can see that I'm in my home office here. It's summer break, and I am absolutely taking advantage of as much time as I can to spend at my very favorite place in the world, my home. I have been enjoying the summer here quite a bit, but a couple months ago during the school year, I got to talk to Mrs. Taylor Borah about her plans in the future and how she is going to be leaving our school district as she has now, and she has moved to Flora, Illinois to be closer to family and to teach history at the high school there. She is also expecting her first child in October. So as you could imagine, it's going to be a complicated year for her, and we discuss all that in the interview that follows. As I told Mrs. Borah myself, it was one of my absolute favorite interviews I've done so far, mostly because she is just so forthcoming about her experiences in life and very open about things that have happened to her, good and bad, and the journey that she's been on in life. And I appreciate that as somebody who really loves to get past the small talk and talk about the things that matter to us most, or that worry us the most, or make us feel the best, or the things we regret and stuff like that. I really, really enjoyed her candor in this interview, and I hope you will too. So, coming up next, Mrs. Taylor Borah. Hi, I'm here with Mrs. Borah, Taylor Borah from Richland County High School from the History Department. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to me today, Mrs. Borah.
Thank you for having me.
So, got to use the Mrs. Borah thing.
Yes.
Because it was just last June, I believe, that you got married. Is that correct?
July 1st.
July.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes, we got married on July 1st. I think it was like the hottest day of the year last year. We
Yeah,
had a
I
big
guess it would have
summer,
been.
big summer storm roll in.
Oh, nice. During the reception or wedding?
During the
or?
reception.
Yeah,
So
nice.
it was
It's
very
not a wedding without some rain.
humid, hot,
Oh, gosh.
jungle conditions here in southern Illinois. So
Yeah,
it was a fun, memorable day, though.
excellent.
So,
Where did you guys have it at?
we got married in our church that we attended, Mount Vernon, and
Oh,
then
okay.
we had our reception
I think you said
locally
Mount
there,
Vernon too, and I
Yeah.
missed it. And this is Colton Borah. How long have
Colin.
Colin? Oh,
Yes.
Colin. I just read
Colin
my
with a
notes wrong
K.
here.
Yeah, you're
Colin
fine.
with a K. Yeah,
Yes.
Y-N.
Yes.
So how did you two meet? Have you guys known each other for quite a while, or?
Yes, actually, we were high school sweethearts.
Oh,
But there's a story about that. I was a freshman and he was a senior,
yeah.
and I dated him until about my junior year, and we had a big falling out. I had
Mhm.
actually kind of, decided I wanted a boyfriend in high school,
Uh-huh.
and we ended up breaking things off, and
Yeah.
we were apart for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
until actually after I graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was in a completely different relationship when I was in college. I was actually in
Mhm.
a very domestic abusive relationship.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
so I'm
horrible.
sorry to like slam
No,
that
it's
back on
okay.
you.
That's
But I was actually kind of able to come back home. I
Yeah.
went to college down at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had to like flee the situation I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back home, we immediately clicked again, and we just
Mhm.
fell back into things like we were 17 and however old he was, like 21, I think, and a little bit of an age difference, but
Yeah.
we were just
That age difference is small after a few years.
yeah, it gets so small
At
now.
17 and 21, it's different,
I mean,
but
yeah,
now
it's different.
different.
I
You're
might cut
not
that
as
out.
much.
But anyway, we were just able to like click, and everything went back to normal. We were like no time had even passed.
That's
So
excellent.
yeah, and we're still
Excellent for the rebound of that situation.
Yeah, it was
Not a rebound.
yeah,
but-
and it was really just good to come home to
Mhm.
like a familiar face
Yes.
too. Someone who was my best friend for
Yeah.
quite a long time. So it was really
Well, that's
nice.
I'm glad there's a happy turn to that.
Yeah.
So you just kind of left college. Did you finish program you were in and get
Yes.
to? So
So
you
I
got to be
had
able to do it that way.
graduated.
That's good.
So here's the story, actually. So I had graduated and I had started looking for teaching jobs.
Uh-huh.
But the person I was with
Uh-huh.
did not want me to have a job because, hear me out, you can financially control someone.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had gone through this teaching program and I was so passionate to get ready to teach. And he was like, you're going to stay at home all day.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to teach.
Yeah. Don't want you out meeting people.
Yeah, I wanted to teach. Yeah. So that was the main reason I left, is because I wanted to go and meet my, seek my dream of employment and, be able to teach education, and social studies. And I was really excited for it, fresh out of college. And I was so ready to look for jobs.
Of course, yeah.
Every job offer, no, too far. No, you don't want to do that. No, just get a part-time job. Just stay at home. It'll be fine. I left because I was not going to have that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go and be able to teach. And with that decision to leave came the ability to get a job and work for myself and make up my own finances.
Independence.
Yeah, it came with independence that I was not able to have.
Yeah. Not that I want to pry on that more than you're comfortable with, but I'm just curious if, there's definitely a lot of other people out there that get in situations like that. It's not it's not super uncommon, unfortunately. What were some maybe warning signs, and what helped you in what do you think might help someone to know or hear to escape, to get away from that?
If I could give any advice to any young woman out there, I was 19 at the time. He was 29.
Okay.
Right? So very big age dynamic there, a dynamic of power that was very imbalanced.
And that he was probably taking advantage of too.
Very much so. And I want to just explain to everyone, even though you're legally an adult, you can still be groomed into relationships. You can still be manipulated. And there is, even though you are legally adult, I was still living at home. I was working a part-time job, and I was just going to a community college.
Yeah.
I, in every sense of the word, was still 19, teen, and this was a full-grown man with a job. And at the time, I was like, wow, he must, see a lot in me. I must be so much, I'm better than all these other options.
Mature,
I'm so mature. But really, he was able to take me and ostracize me from my family. He said, if you want to be with me, you have to move out. And so I was moved out in one night. I just immediately went so hard for it because I was at a time where I was really lonely, and it was someone who I felt like really connected with me. I mean, we were on the same wavelength, I thought.
Yeah.
But that's part of that manipulation.
Yeah, they were from the beginning probably trying to
see how we're so much alike, see how no one else likes you, see how I would never, treat you that way, kind of deal. And I immediately was just all in for it.
Yeah. And I'm assuming it's the kind of thing too, because I haven't been in a relationship like that. I've talked to several people who have, and I've heard the signs and stuff, but is it the kind of thing that took you a while to notice, or was it also that he revealed it slowly? It
was a slow reveal, but also he was definitely Mr. Red Flag, what
in hindsight.
Yes, and I was like, red flag, but it's okay. He's fresh out of a divorce. So I was like, oh, but he's just hurt, and just so naive at that age. I really was. Yeah. I had no business being in a relationship with, and my family tried to tell me, and I was just, I'm an adult. I don't have to listen to you.
That almost it worked for him, I'm sure. The
it
family
did.
being against
he definitely
it,
used my age.
Turn that
he used that teenage defiance totally to key me in as well.
Well, that dude is ancient history, and
Thankfully.
now you have so many great things going on for yourself.
Yes.
So you are about how far along now? Are you in your second trimester?
I am finally in the second trimester, thank goodness.
Yeah.
The first trimester was rough.
Yeah.
I'm just over 15 weeks, so I'll be hitting 16 weeks on Friday.
Cool.
My baby is the size of an avocado this week. Yes, I've been keeping track.
Excellent.
Yes, and we know we're having a girl.
Yes,
so
I saw that
we
today, actually. I was Facebook stalking you a little bit for info for this, which is why I got your husband's name wrong.
Yes, it's okay. You're not the only one. He goes Connor.
Yeah.
colon. Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
okay.
know what I was thinking when I saw it.
It's
It was out there
okay.
clear as day.
It's okay. It's
well,
interesting spelling.
It is. It's a different one.
Yes.
Well, congratulations on that. Is this something that you two were seeking? Is it like, I'm sure it's, you know, you seem very happy to be building a family.
Yes, we are ready to build a family,
Good.
but I will be dead honest when I say we weren't going to start, thinking or trying until probably fall of this year.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to plan my maternity
Yeah,
leave
I
right
wondered.
at the end of the May, at
That
the
was
end of
definitely a
May,
question.
and just enjoy my summer.
Yeah.
Right now, my maternity leave is
Yeah, I
coming
wondered.
in October.
Oh no.
So I'm going to be starting the school
Yeah.
year and I'm pretty much,
in a
hi,
new
I'm here for a
place.
month. Yes,
Yeah.
a new place, and I'm going to be there for a month and be like, hi, okay, bye,
Yeah.
kind of deal.
See,
So I'll have a lot on my plate.
And that's, I think a lot of people think like, it is, there definitely are teachers that plan it for the summer, there's teachers that plan it for during the school year, and it to each their own, honestly, because, we're talking about motherhood here, so anybody wants to complain about that can kick rocks, but
Yes.
I do get how, just as a teacher in general, how it would be so stressful thinking about it, like, it's not a vacation when you've got to plan everything that's happening and orchestrate it from home while you're dealing with just having had a baby and now so dealing with an infant.
On top of that, I'll be at a new school. So I will be starting a whole new school, getting a whole new class, a whole new subject. I'll be still in social studies, but I'll be teaching new topics. And on top of that, I will only have like maybe a month and a half there before I have to start prepping,
and you're learning all their login systems.
Yes,
and how do you
it's
get
going to
copies
be
made here?
all at once, and then I'm going to be thrown out. And
who are the people to avoid?
Yes, and I'm not going to know any of that.
Yeah, and not going to have much time to. And I've experienced secondhand 2 pregnancies up close with my wife, but I don't know myself, but that last month and a half, you're not going to exactly be in top form. You're going to be in a form, all right.
I know, and it's going to be
at
the beginning of the school year, too.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to meet, like, mean Mrs. Borah. I have a feeling.
Well, like they say, you can't really get meaner, but you can get nicer. It doesn't really work that way. And there might have to be a little bit of just make sure it's like, you guys don't get it. I'm under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
So how is that going right now with your classroom? Like, how has is this your second year of teaching?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was, and I couldn't. Time passes strangely ever since COVID. But this was your first teaching assignment too. Was Richland County?
I did a one term, like I did 2 quarters as a full long-term sub at Carterville Intermediate School for maternity leave, which this teacher was able to make the decision financially that she was actually just not going to come back.
Semester.
So she actually took the semester, and I took care of her class for half a year essentially, and that was for 5th grade.
In history?
All subjects.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, so I was teaching everything. I should not
show how much I know about.
Yeah, no, I should not be teaching
setup,
math.
honestly.
Though I should not have been teaching math. That's all I'm gonna say. I tried my best. We learned together.
I did math tutoring when I was doing my my master's, and that was like extra gig, and I was just like, what am I doing?
Least
here?
favorite subject in school, right there.
Yeah,
I was more on the arts, the English, the side.
I was weirdly very good at math in high school, and not anymore. It went away because I just stopped using it.
I was the reading, English, theater, band, that side brain person.
Me for the most, except the band part. I love music. God, I wish I could be musical, but I'm just not.
Player in the band. I was also drum major for 2 years, which, wasn't saying much. Our band was like 7 people.
And theater, what did you do with theater?
We had a
my ears perk up.
We had a very small drama program at our school that actually just got started up my freshman year. So the only one I can remember off the top of my head is we did Harvey.
Oh, sure. Yes. We're actually, this summer, Richland County Performing Arts Center, we are doing a version of Harvey with our legacy people, like people that have graduated, our alumni.
Okay, cool. Play. Yes, I was the nurse. I was the nurse there.
Great.
Yes. So.
I was when I did it at OCC, right after high school, I was the bouncer, security guard.
Yes.
I accidentally bruised up his arm, and I still feel really bad about it.
Yes, we did Harvey, and that's the only name one that I feel like anyone would have any idea what I'm talking about because
small programs, you do a lot of those either
very little
low cost, that are
Well, I think our drama teacher was doing it on our own time and on our own budget. So
that's how you start a lot too.
Yeah. So and I mean, actually, after I graduated, I think the program dipped for a while. And I think they just revamped it. So they're doing a production this week.
Where was this at? I'm sorry?
Wayne City High School.
Wayne City High School.
Yes, Wayne City. Yeah, that's where I live, in Wayne City. So.
Nice. And you live there now?
Yes.
Okay.
I have an hour.
Because that's back home.
Yes, I have an hour commute.
Hour commute. Which
here and
explains
back to
a little bit about maybe why you are heading back.
Yes, that's actually the main reason.
Yeah. Where are you going to teach at?
Flora High School.
Yeah, Flora. I'm sure you've told me this maybe in this conversation.
No, it's okay.
But...
So I'm going to be at Flora High School, which Flora, we are moving this summer. My grandparents have 300 acres of land, and they were kind enough to plot off a little place for us.
That's great.
And
it's great to be able to do that for family,
I know,
honestly.
It's so nice.
It's so great, yeah.
And, well, they live out in the middle of nowhere, but it will be only about a 25-minute drive to the high school there. Which cuts it in less than half, you know, my drive time. Yeah. Because right now I'm doing 2 hours. Yeah. And I will say during the first trimester driving to school, feeling extremely queasy and sick to my stomach, and especially on those curves, I was really struggling. Yeah. So that definitely kind of influenced my decision making.
That is just 10 hours in a car a week for a regular school week.
Yeah.
And that's I have until a couple of years ago it's always been 20 minutes. Weirdly, it kind of. I guess my first year I was a lot closer to this school. But Georgetown, it was always 20 minutes, even when I moved. But it was, I liked that. That was a good amount of time. 20, 25 minutes. I can get my brain ready. I can be ready, kind of almost spiritually for the day. Yes. Figure out the last plans in my head. An hour? Oh my God. That's I've got to rush to get in the car to get out of here.
It's definitely my decompress time. I would say I listen to a podcast or listen to music, but mostly I'm just sitting in silence, yeah, that was my day.
Just shaking your head slightly from side to side. What did I do to myself?
Yes, that definitely processing the day. Yeah. And also on the way there, processing what's to come. Yeah. Sitting in silence. And
that's why I liked that 20 minutes, but I have now come around to, God, it's so nice to be 5 minutes away from school.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to be
people don't
closer.
Get the complicated, they could guess, I got to drive that much, but it's also... when you live out of town or out in the country, which is where I have a couple times, then I don't even want to come into town. Walmart is a whole exhibition. Oh my God, I can't even. My brain is a whole journey.
It's a journey, yes. And I will say, that's been really inhibiting me from being such a bigger part of our school community, outside of school hours, because, for one, I work a second job. Yeah,
which is caring for. It's like an animal shelter.
Yeah, so right? I actually do dog grooming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
What teachers aren't supposed to do. Groom. But anyway, no, I make that joke way too often. Yes.
That's
I know. Sorry.
Right audience here. Okay,
yeah, right. Yeah. Here. Sorry, dark joke.
Yeah, dark humor.
Yes. So I do dog grooming, which has been my part-time job since about the fall. Luckily, this Friday is going to be my last day because if
it's just
I
too
saw
many
that,
things.
if you could give any advice to pregnant teachers, it's not working a second job.
Yeah, right.
That would be it.
I would get. There's so much taxing on your body.
It is. It's very I have to
lift
up this 80-pound golden doodle onto this table and.
They
don't want to be groomed any more than I want to be grooming them. And it's always a wrestling match for an hour and a half. So, literally.
So you, I've seen several rescue things online about you. And I know in the past, I knew that you've worked before at a shelter or something like that.
When I was in high school, I volunteered at the animal clinic or animal shelter at Flora. Because I was actually I lived out in the country. I lived on the very edge of the Wayne County School District. So I was actually closer to Flora in a way. So when I did my volunteer work, I went to Flora because that was what I could, easier drive time for me in high school. And I did some volunteer work there. I think playing with the cats, cleaning kitty litter, stuff like that. Yeah. I'm the crazy cat lady.
Yeah. You want to do that now? Toxoplasmosis, got to watch out.
Actually, I've read that if you have house cats already,
that you're probably
you're already immune.
Interesting. It's been so many years since I've looked up anything about it now.
Because I was like so
my
worried
youngest
because
is
I was like, I want
11?
all the cats.
11,
yeah, I was like, I want all the cats, and I also, I'm pregnant, and I'm not gonna boot my cats out now. I actually did some reading in my like what to expect when you're expecting, and it says if you have cats already, you've already probably built up an immunity, and plus if your cats are like inside only cats, they're not gonna they're not gonna catch anything weird. Yeah, they're gonna get it from another critter. Yeah. And my babies would never step outside. So but I did foster kittens earlier this year as well.
I've seen a few dogs that were on like your social media that you fostered a little bit and tried to find homes for.
Yes, I picked up a puppy recently from a sketchy situation, and I was able to find it a home with one of my little high school coworkers at the dog at Growls and Meows Pet Clinic where I'm at right now, and she had actually just put her pet dog of like 11 years down the week before. So like perfect timing. Like sorry about your dog, but here's a puppy.
But hey. I needed time after the first time our last pets, I had to put him down, and it was the hardest decision, but I'm glad I did it, but it was the worst.
You will not believe this shocked me. So working at a pet, store or clinic or, places that work with pets, you would not believe the amount of owners that once Fido dies, they get a dog and name it Fido again.
Oh, the same name?
Yes, they just don't want to like get the new collars or the new bowls or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
There will be only one Kinski. That's right.
It's like this is Fido the Third, I don't know. It's so weird
People
to
do
me.
That a lot. Actually, I think my wife was telling me about one of her clients that does that a lot. And
I could never.
It's their thing.
That's
it's
special.
like you definitely do that or you definitely don't.
It's just like, I guess.
It's one or the other.
You're like one person or the other. Yeah, I would not be that type. But hey, not bashing anyone who's had their third max,
Of course, yeah. Thank you for taking care of some of nature's greatest animals, which are dogs.
Yes.
So have you always been a pet person? What got you into working with pets?
Actually, like my dream job when I was 3 is that when I was 3, I wanted to be a dog walker, which is now like a thing. Like you can walk people like Rover or something, like pet sitting. Like that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. I was always
meet new dogs.
Yes, or cats, and like I was always the one that, can we bring it home? Can we keep it? Can I get one? And growing up, like we never had an indoor cat or dog. We had one cat, and this is what set us off from indoor pets, is that cat was like possessed by the devil himself. Yeah. And he was just big, angry energy all the time. We now know that it was probably caused because he was declawed, which you're not supposed to declaw your cats now.
That's so bad.
But after that, he just turned into a little devil. Yeah. And we had him for quite some time until we finally found it time to rehome him when my brother came along because my mom was afraid that he was going to kill the baby. But we never had another indoor pet until after I moved out. Then my mom she replaced me with a dog. Yeah, like what I wanted this whole time was like an indoor dog, and she waited until after I moved out to get one.
Needed some companionship, I guess.
Yes, I guess so. And it was a dog.
I'm definitely a pet person. We have our dogs and our cats, and I share an affinity for
Do your pets sleep in your bed with you?
Yeah, we let Teeny and Freya.
Yes.
Are both our rescue dogs. And we got a big little combo. It's just they're so close to the last two we had. And it was just we were looking at shelters, rescues and stuff. And I love my dog so much. I let him sleep with me. I don't care. I had just the best moment. It was like it was over the weekend. I think maybe it was Saturday night. And I'm laying down there and it's late. Everybody else is asleep and it's dark. I got my fan running, which is my peaceful thing. And noise. I just like sort of was curled up against my wife next to her. So nice and cozy, warm. And she's out snoozing. And then Freya comes and gets her little legs right between my legs and the nook, and then Teeny comes up next to me and her head's over my shoulder, and I was so freaking comfortable I couldn't sleep. I sat up there, I kid you not, at least 30 minutes. I was just like, this is the best. I just sitting there just drinking it in.
I wish my sleeping with my pets would go.
Oh, it doesn't usually go that well. It does not go that
never.
well. No, Teeny's up and down. Freya just hides under the thing, and she's a little heat box under there. But
yes, well, I have Pete, who likes to sleep right in between my legs.
He'll
get right in between there, and like the issue is that I have to go up and use the bathroom like 8 times a night now.
Like, come on, dog.
Yeah, and like I have to like kick him out of the way. Well, he'll go right back to his spot, but Ellie, or as you saw the teacher of the week, Ellie Bobelli, very, very smelly, which is her government name, when she's in trouble.
Her Christian name.
Yes. She'll sleep right here.
Oh, jeez, that would be too much. I couldn't sleep
But it's like kind of like a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
But like also smothering at the same time.
Yeah.
And like there's one thing about her she very, very smelly. Is very true to her name. Like she stinks. She's a stinky cat, so it's not the most peaceful night's rest.
The cat will not hang out with the dogs. Dr. Dude Noodles, he strolls out and he performs surgery on local animals at night. Mm-hmm. Teeny, she will crawl on top of me and then swirl around. And she's actually gotten over the top of my head before, and I swear she just wants to like go down my throat and go into my stomach. Yes, I feel like if they could
crawl inside of you and just...
She would.
That would be like the closest
she always
they could,
just licks a little bit. Just little licks at me. It's like, stop licking me. I'll pet you if you stop licking me.
Well, you just said like the mouth noises. Like it's just like in your ear at night.
Yeah.
Like stop. Like cut it out.
Going back to this new job here, so you're going to Flora.
Yes.
What position are you going to teach? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to actually ask this.
No.
Comparing the two, you taught that's 5th grade for a while versus your high school experience. And so I wanted to go from that to your Flora experience. What do you think of the differences? So first of all, do you feel like...
I would say it's maturity level, but it's
you're not.
Oh,
no, God. No. Do you feel like you're built to handle a 5th grade level class? Or like Miss Ginder and I have talked several times about like elementary school teachers, they're just a different breed. Middle school teachers, they're a different breed.
You're either like, if you're a teacher, either one or the, you fall into that. Well, I'm middle school endorsed. So actually some of my student observation, student teaching was done with middle school. Mm-hmm. I really liked that age group. Actually, that's kind of what I shot for. Sorry, I have a lot of like heartburn.
I'm sure.
You know,
it's okay. I guess you have an excuse.
Yeah, I'm like chewing Tums on the daily. So I actually started with middle school and like in my first teaching observation in college. And I originally thought I was just going to be high school. Like, I didn't even want to really give middle school a chance. But actually, I didn't have to take any more classes to get middle school endorsed. Yeah. But I actually fell in love with it. I was like, this is actually, like, kind of my age group. Like, I was like, I really like it because they're still kind of sweet. Yeah. And also, I don't feel awkward yelling at them. Yeah. Because they're not taller than me. Yeah. So.
That would be.
Yeah.
There's a few of these kids there that tower over me, but not many.
Casey Tolman.
Like, yeah.
Like, hey.
He could pick me up and put me in his pocket. That kid.
Yeah, he could. But also he's an angel. But anyway.
I haven't interacted with much, but he seems like a sweet
He's a very sweetheart kind of guy. But it is very like awkward being like shorter than most of my students that I teach. Yeah. And also being like my age, kind of like
because you're younger.
I can relate to you, but also like
obviously some students treat female teachers differently than male teachers.
Do, and I had that a lot
pretending
this year.
That there isn't. Yeah.
No, I had that a lot this year. I had a lot of like trying and disrespect and like pushing, which was not. Yeah, he witnessed quite a bit of that actually.
We have our multicam operator Brendan McGlass over there.
Actually.
Yes.
Oh, you can call us.
I had a very behaviorally challenged group this year. And a lot of it had to do with she's just this little lady that's not going to tell us what to do.
And just pushing you around.
Yeah, and it really was. And actually had to have like SRO amateur and you know people come into my room and help me keep the reins on because I mean I am only a second-year teacher. I don't have the veteran experience.
I don't know what it's like to be because I started teaching when I turned 30 in my first month in the classroom, so I'd had some life experience. I'm this big chunky guy.
Scary.
I am a little scary.
Yeah,
I'm just a big old teddy bear, folks.
Yeah, but I mean,
I can be intimidated, especially
it's
now.
An advantage.
I've had a few years. I've 15 years of teaching now, so I can get really intimidating if I need to.
I don't think I could if I tried.
Like, you'll learn it eventually.
I don't think I could intimidate like a bug. Yeah. Like I'm just like too nice.
We just need certain teachers here to just
Yeah.
sit with you for a little while. So
Yeah.
Hinckley could
like drill sergeant
turn you into
training.
a mean monster for sure.
I need it. I need to let me see your war face.
To be honest, I don't know what it's like though to be in a different body, to be have less height and be a smaller person and be female. But I do know that over time the better I've gotten has been more of learning how to control it with that a little bit, a little bit of the fire if I need it, but mostly just kind of like just being like, don't be a jerk.
Yeah, and I like that kind of thing. Am like a very laid back person.
Me too.
I am like, I will sit on
to my detriment.
Yes, and I'm like, I am the kind of person that's like, oh my gosh, it's not that big of a deal, but like as a young teacher, like I have to be like, it is, but also like at the same time I don't have the veteran teacher capability of just being like kick my feet up on the desk and still somehow manage the classroom.
Yeah.
Like I have to be mean, and it's very difficult for me because I am not that person. It is. I have to put so much more effort into my classroom management than I thought I would have to. Like
one of the worst things. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
One of the worst things I've noticed with classes that are really trying, or if I've got one or two in there that, like right now, I have a fourth block that is they're just too squirrely. Yes. I don't have anybody in there that I'm worried about starting a fight with somebody else or doing something. I've had it before, yeah.
Yes.
But when you have somebody in there that you're worried, like, are they going to blow up today? Do I do this? You think about it, and at least I do with my personality, all day, and it ruins my day in a way. I'm sitting there over lunch sometimes if I had a class like that, and I'm thinking of specific
running
ones
scenarios. How am I going to handle this? Yeah.
Checking the schedule, see if maybe somebody's called in sick
today. Please.
Which is so sad to say, but I'm 100% serious.
It's crazy how one student commands the dynamic of your room.
Yeah.
Like when they're in ISS or if they're sick that day, like it's like, oh my gosh.
It's actually a break.
Yeah. It's like, I can teach.
Which is so unfortunate that it is that way, but it's, there's a lot of different ways to handle it. But I haven't figured out the right one yet. I'm still getting it through. I think I'm still being useful here. So how has it changed at all as you've been pregnant through this? And
I use that.
I would too immediately. Yeah.
You guys have to listen to me because I'm pregnant.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going through a lot right now.
Yeah,
because you really are.
Guys, I do not feel good. Just shh and listen and do what you need, and it actually works on 99%.
That's good.
There's still going to be that one stinker.
Because there is got to be the ones that remember okay, I don't know much about pregnancy, hopefully,
but
as
I can
a
at
kid.
least try to be a good person.
But at least that does kind of the humanity rings true there of
come on, guys.
A pregnant mother should be given a little extra respect.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Though you should always respect your teacher, pregnant or not.
True.
Like that, just little added, but you gotta be good to her because
you'll take it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
You'll take it for now. So, where are you going? I'm sorry, with Flora. What are you going to be teaching in Flora then? Is it the high school level still?
Yes, I'll still be the high school, but instead of upperclassmen, I'll be with underclassmen.
Okay.
And I will actually be teaching electives. So
you already know your courses too.
I will be teaching, I believe, a government course and then a world history course.
Cool.
Which I'll probably enjoy teaching electives because the kids
electives
that sign up
generally are
the kids that want to be there, and it's not just a required course and it's not just I have to get this credit to graduate. So I'm kind of hoping that with that
the kind of I keep stepping on you while you're talking. I'm sorry.
Continue.
Please go.
Well, I'm kind of hoping with that kids will be a bit more passionate about what they're learning about, because sometimes it's like I'm talking to a brick wall.
Oh yeah. With electives, I think government and stuff like that, you probably are just going to get, for the most part, kids that are actually I want to do this. I get courses. I even tell my creative writing class this. I know that a lot of you, a certain percentage, a third of you, are assigned to this class because you just didn't care what you got, and this is where you go. And I'm okay with that. So here's the bare minimum you got to pass, because that shouldn't hinder you. You'll learn a little bit about creative writing, but that I find that approach works best with electives when they become a dumping ground, quote unquote, because you will still get kids that are really passionate about it, and that's a hard
and maybe they can kind of
thing to split
sway the class. But I will say I'm very sad to be leaving American history behind. U.S. history is my focal point. That is my topic that I actually get really passionate about teaching.
Is your knowledge base
yes,
there
I
too?
feel most confident teaching that. So it'll be kind of like a whole new game when I get to this new school, new subjects, new school. New baby, I'll have quite a bit on my plate.
New home pretty soon,
new home
too.
Yeah.
Is that happening right away, or are you guys, are you building on the
so
piece of land?
actually,
Is that it?
we live in a grand old mobile home.
Oh, do you?
We're mobile homing it. But we're actually going to be selling what we have now and doing a little bit of an upgrade to very nice double wide. We already are in a double wide, but, we love trailer, we love trailer living, but
I lived at J&J Trailer Park here in Olney years ago.
Yeah, well, my husband grew up in
Fehrenbacher. I moved up to Fehrenbacher later on. It was my wife's trailer that she owned. That's why I moved up to Fehrenbacher.
Yes, well, my husband grew up in a place called Grimmer Estates, which I just can't think of a more joyful name for your trailer court.
A little on the nose, maybe.
Yes, but we are, and they are now. People looking for housing options and stuff. The housing market is terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
We are getting this.
It's great if you're selling.
Yes, but we are getting this really nice. It's actually don't crap on mobile homes because no, it's actually
we have a pre-manufactured home.
No,
it's in a really nice spot, and they added a ton to it.
They get all this hate, but really we're getting stainless steel appliances. We have it's gonna be really nice. Yeah. It's definitely an upgrade.
And also, you're not pouring a ton of money straight into a house that you're stuck with for then. You get time to build up capital.
Actually,
it's all about building up that investment until you get to the point where you can.
So that's
get
kind of our
really
goal
nice.
Is that this is going to be the home for 10, 15 years. And then we're going to actually build. So this is going to give us the opportunity to save up. But also, fun fact.
That's a great point.
This is the first year that mobile homes or manufactured homes haven't depreciated in value. They're actually making profit when you sell them. So
that is super interesting.
So
actually.
The market is actually going up.
Interesting.
So
as housing options are needed, I'm sure that does make sense.
Yeah. So it's really finding home owning and stuff like that in your 20s is getting more and more difficult.
It is.
But I think that is actually a very financially reasonable option for those of people who are interested in looking for housing.
I mean, I couldn't break it down totally, but I think it sounds solid, and that's kind of what we did. Actually, my wife and I really over time. She'd already owned that first one, and we just built up to new stuff. And
it's just taking one step up at a time.
We stumbled into an extremely nice house that I still cannot believe I live in, but I'm also 44 and old and in pain. So someday you'll make that trade-off too. If you're
hopefully someday.
If you're lucky, you can live the dream, the dream I have lived so far. So getting into a couple questions that we kind of look at in this podcast here. What do you think is one of the biggest problems facing education in general, or educators? What's something that when you think about
engagement? I could just pin that right on the head. So I could have pyrotechnics going on in my classroom, and I don't think some kids would still be sleeping or attempting to break through light speed to watch Roblox videos on their Chromebook.
Yes.
So
all sorts of anime
yes,
stuff.
Or ASMR mukbang, because that's definitely more interesting than me. I get it. But
that's just offensive.
Right? But I could be doing literally jumping jacks up there, and I still don't think students would really care. So definitely student engagement has been my most challenging challenge to try to deal with, because I can't compete with phones. I have a phone caddy. I actually started enforcing this term. Your phone has to go in the caddy to be marked present for class. You'll get an unexcused absence.
I think I have that right now where I have the phone caddy. I actually putting it that way, I think
so hard to enforce. That
makes sense. I'm going to do that next year.
No, that has been my saving grace with this phone, because the phone caddy, there's no trade-off. There's no I get my phone, I get a detention that I get to maybe or maybe not show up to, depending on the kid. So this has been my light bulb.
That's a good idea.
Because
I'm gonna use that for sure.
Because they don't like it when their parents are going, why aren't you in
class?
class? I was. well, it says you're not.
Yeah.
And then they get to go up to, you know, our attendants and ask, well, actually, Mrs. Borah sent me an email because you refused to follow the phone policy. You are marked absent for class.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. I am 100% going to use that next year.
No, it's been really my...
Sorry, incoming freshmen.
Sorry, giving him ideas over here. But that really has been like that has been my easiest adjustment. It took me quite a while to figure that out. But man, the phones are so hard to compete with. But if it messes with their attendance, man, I can win the game.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one because they do that one will, because that's something's going to follow them with some consequences.
That's
even
actually,
more than bad grades sometimes. Honestly, is
that will get them. That will get them.
So. What is you've only had a couple years here, so we don't have to pretend like it's had this.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure it's impacted you in some ways, and it is your first job, and that you've had some harrowing times here, I'm sure, and some fun times. But I don't think we have to pretend that it's like, oh, I'll never forget you guys. You hopefully have a long career ahead of you where this will be, like, oh yeah, that kind of memory, and that's the way it should be. But what are some things that you think you might miss from here or take from here from your experience here?
Well, I've had a lot of interesting experiences here. Like I fell on my face in front of the entire school, like my first year.
I had video of that.
Yes, because, and it's still a video that goes around.
Was it FFA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know who came up with that game.
I was zooming in. It was the balloon pop thing,
yes,
right?
But like, why would be chasing each other with thumbtacks be ever a good idea? I was terrified. And
then you went for it.
Yeah.
And that's the point when you just absolutely
ate my face on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, I actually couldn't walk.
I'm so
the rest
sorry,
of the
but
day.
it was hilarious.
It was...
Oh, I didn't know you were actually hurt that badly too.
The whole gym went.
It was so funny.
Oh my gosh! And they still call me out for it. It's still floating. This video is, and you know what?
It's not like they aren't going to find it in your next school either.
I know, right? Like I had that. My first year, so I got, if you hadn't had me, you knew of me because I was the one who, crashed on the gym floor.
It was one when I've been asking just random groups of students, like, what are some things I should ask Miss Borah?
Oh my
and
gosh.
Literally, that's one that came up. You should ask her about space planting.
Yes, I was. Don't talk about it. No, I brought it up. I will say
it humanizes you to the kids.
Well, I will say
like,
actually, I was able to like save my face from actually hitting the floor from like about an inch. Like on the video, it looks like I smacked, but really it was just like clavicle, and down that like got the hit. I will say my leg was bruised. My knee that took the hit, like the hardest, bruised. I had to like sit in my rolly chair for the rest of the day.
Sorry.
I was limping.
It makes it less funny, Miss Borah.
I'm
Thanks
sorry.
a lot.
I actually kind of got hurt. No, but I had a lot of experience. I think like your first years of teaching are your most difficult just because you're still learning the ropes.
It's insane. I think back to it. I don't know how I got through the time I spent just poring over. I don't understand this. How can I do it? Just like the hours and hours and hours I put in every day extra. I don't get
and
how you have to be young. I think.
And I don't mean to dog on these kids, but like post-COVID kids,
everybody notices.
It's a challenge, because like the kids I've been teaching now did not get that like pivotal learning experience of junior high. They went from grade school expectations blank to high school expectations, and I don't think any of them really, or any of them. I shouldn't say any of them. I don't think a good percentage of them got the understanding of expectations and responsibilities, and we don't act like fifth graders in the classroom still. So, but with that, I mean, there's
definitely a maturity drop by year. For sure.
Yeah, and it's funny because like that's what I came into. So it's like I don't get to I get to think of like when I was in high school, but I'm also thinking from the student perspective. But like I remember thinking like, whoa, that would have never flown when I was in school. And I only graduated high school in 2017. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sorry to make that makes you probably feel a little old.
Well, it does when you point it out.
I'm sorry. Every time I say that, the teachers just groan.
I'm sure because we do have I think we're a fairly older population here.
Yeah, with teachers. In our school. Grant Edwards has been my like saving grace because like he is like next closest to next door neighbor, close in age,
Yeah.
and we're like the young guys.
And
like
in
we're
the same department. Yep.
Yeah, we're in the same department. We're the young teachers. So
Yeah.
like, it's been nice to have someone that I can relate to and I feel like I can go to.
Yeah.
For advice.
It's nice to have just a friend you can talk to.
That too.
Especially with a similar.
Yeah.
When you're in that makes a big difference. When you're in a similar situation, it's like, God, can you believe this? Like, yes, I can, because I'm doing it too.
Yeah. And I think like just the drop off, like from when I was in school compared to student behaviors now, like, I don't know if this might be just the Richland County school environment, but like compared to Wayne City, which Wayne City was always like 20 years behind, in behavior, like we're like very like country, respectful, farmer kids.
Old fashioned.
Yeah, old fashioned, and comparing it to like being thrown into the teaching environment here, I was like, whoa,
it's very different since when I started for sure in 2010, and it's depressingly so. It's so jarringly different. COVID was such a shakeup that I think some of us that taught pre-COVID are just now able to really piece together how different it is and kind of remember it, put it all together and look at it all and be like, okay, definitely it's maturity and it's also engagement, but just how seriously they take it. Not that kids pre-COVID took it like super serious, but that's what it is. And it was also everything could be put in at the end of a term basically, and you could just go through and we'll get you through it. It's like at that point it was like, we get it. This is tough.
Well,
this is a hard way to learn.
Yeah, it was a really trying
what we're stuck with. But it's like now it's like, hey, not like that anymore.
Normal expectations, and they're just like, what? Like due dates are not suggestions.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Definitely challenging coming in because like as a first year teacher, you're trying to figure out your classroom management, and you don't get to. I kind of was shy and I stayed to my little corridor and I didn't ask, other teachers how they handle things. And like, really for my first year, I was more focused on the content than I was even controlling the classroom. And this year I have changed and I've been actually on my like prep periods and break times, actually go in and watch other teachers and try to get some advice from them and see how they handle their classroom environment with their students actually in the room. I want to watch them teach. I want to see how they handle situations as they come up, everything like that.
It takes time. It's like if we were being realistic about what you needed to be a teacher, I think, which it would never be like this because nobody ever put the money into it, but it should be like you're in training for like 3 or 5 years.
Yeah, well,
you should be an apprentice to a master teacher.
No, like
this
be
is
the
so
co-teacher.
hard to do and so complicated. And,
well, and I will say like, when I was in college, like that was all the pandemic time. So like actually, how my student observations went, I had half of a quarter in that 5th grade classroom, and then I was pulled out and I didn't go back into a classroom. I didn't go back to a classroom until my student teaching.
That's crazy.
And during my student teaching, I was at Carbondale High School. The teacher I was under actually got assaulted by a parent, so he was out for quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah, at a game. He was a coach. But he was actually out for quite some time.
So they were assaulted, like injured. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a big deal on the news and stuff like that.
Why are people so crazy?
Yeah, and like I was just like, okay, I'm here, and I was just kind of like thrown to the wolves in a way, especially after not having any like training on how to handle these wolves, or experience watching other people handle the wolves, so.
I refer to them as it's like trying to herd cats that won't stop looking at their cell phones.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty accurate, but.
Yeah, that's a very good description, actually. I'm going to have to use that.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
It's welcome to all. It's open source. Yeah. So why did you get into teaching anyway?
My mom's a teacher.
Okay.
So that was always kind of my
too.
that was kind of like my fallback. Like if she can do it, I can do it. But also she's the
Hear that, Mom?
Sorry, Mom. But also like she was an elementary teacher, and I knew for sure that I was not going to do that because like she would talk to me about like wiping snotty noses and tying shoes, and I was like, that's not teaching.
No, that's not
like
me.
I want to teach the content.
Yeah.
And like have a passion about it, and I know what put me on the subject that I was going to go for is when I watched my high school history teacher on the first day. Oh my gosh, this man is like this is my goal of teaching. A student threw a pencil across the room, and so he picked up their desk and threw it against the wall on the complete other side of the room, and got
that
in
is not where I thought you were going.
No, he got in their face and told them what was up, and I was like, that's who I want to be.
I want that power.
I want the power.
The power of a public high school teacher.
Yes, I wanted that. Like, they're gonna listen to me if they like it or not, kind of deal. And like that was like, but like also, he made history interesting, and you better pay attention because he's gonna, throw it.
You're gonna miss some good stuff.
Well, or he's gonna throw a desk at you. So,
I'd be on the edge of my seat too. I guess.
Like you were like there. I mean, and I was like a notorious like C average student. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Like because I'll be honest, like, so, like, I'm gonna, like, my experience, and this might be what, like, a lot of high schoolers can relate to, is that, like, when I was in grade school, I was considered gifted, and so, like, I got A+ on everything without studying, and so I never built up study habits, and so, like, when I got to 8th, 7th, 8th grade, that's when it started, that's when it started to get a little bit more difficult, but I was still passing everything with, like, a B, but, like, when I got to high school, that's when it was, like, okay, you're gonna just... And I never, like, learned to study, but I also was still passing. So I was just like, I'm just going to, like, do my thing and, like, get a C. If I would have applied myself more, I would have definitely been, like, an A+ student, like, 4-point-something GPA, instead I was sitting in the 3s. And, I was just kind of doing me, So, but I knew that I wanted to go into teaching whenever I saw how he commanded the classroom. And, like, I was always interested in history. I was the kid that was watching documentaries instead of cartoons, you know? So, and, like, I knew, like, okay, I can teach, and I don't want to teach elementary, so I'm going to go to the high school level. Because that's when you actually get to, like, really learn about the content instead of, like, okay, line up. Who's our line leader today?
And discuss it. That's what I liked about choosing high school was my high school experience was, coming back from the trauma of losing a parent, but also with people that like helped me become a man, in a way like that, like as an adult, like that helped me. I was a super big goofball in high school, if you can imagine.
No, really?
I was, a little off the wall. But at the same time, like I had teachers that impact me in that way. But it's just that you got to have conversations with teachers, and we get to have conversations with students that are becoming adults. They're becoming men and women. They're finding their own. It's more than just, wanting to be a dog walker when you're a little kid, or a dentist or a teacher or whatever. It's like they're actually getting like really solid opinions about things. They're getting very passionate about stuff. They're inquisitive. They'll challenge you. That's the side of it I love. Yeah. Well, classroom management, I'm not a huge fan of, but I've had to get better at it because I was not very good at it. It's still not my strong point, but I am much better.
I don't think anyone can confidently say like.
I know a couple that,
really?
Yeah, Miss Eagleson, for some reason, she even said, I interviewed her before she retired, but she just became this, like, you just don't mess with her. And she's even perplexed by it. She's like, I don't know why. They're just scared of me.
I need that.
And Hinckley probably just terrifies people.
She kind of scares me too.
Yeah,
she kind of scares me too.
Rusk and Gray are just monsters.
Oh.
Mrs. Rusk and Mrs. Gray are monsters. I'd be scared of them too if I was a student. Don't cross them.
I don't know. I think students realize they can, like, kind of, like, plow me over, like
maybe.
Yeah, because I'm just like, okay, like that's okay, like I'm very nice.
It's like me too. They eventually sense it's like, wait a minute, this guy's a pushover.
Yeah.
So I had
definitely
to go back on that.
No,
so,
I definitely get that too.
Do you still like teaching? You're 2 years in. You can be honest. Depends on the day.
Yeah. Do I enjoy teaching?
And do you see yourself finishing your career as a teacher?
Yes. So I do see myself finishing my career. Do I love teaching? Yes, I love teaching. I don't love everything else about it, though. Right. Like, if it was just me in a room talking about content, my gosh, that would be the best job ever. Like, I should just do a podcast.
There's kids that
really.
care.
Yeah, but like
it's really fun. I like it.
Yeah, like I really that would be like that's just what I need to do because dealing with I could be like passionately talking about something and this kid's slept through it no matter how many times I tried to wake him up. Or this parent's gonna aggressively message me about something, and it's like, oh, I have a formal evaluation and I have anxiety, so I'm gonna be like really stressing about that. So like it's like all these other things that I didn't realize, like when I first decided I want to be a teacher. Like how fun is grading for like my mom when I'm like sitting in her classroom, like I could do this, like this is so much fun. But it's all the like the hidden details, the standards, and the learning targets that you need to meet, and it's just like,
That's
oh, this is like, oh, this is not what I thought teaching was all about. There's like, it's like an onion. There's like, I was only seeing like the peel, and like now I'm just like starting
now
to
you're just
like
crying.
Yeah, now I'm just crying. that's perfect. Now I'm just crying.
There's so much to it. It is. It's more than people, and it's like anything worth doing, especially as a career. It's going to be more complicated than just things you want to do, but it's challenging.
I'll tell you that. Dog grooming's not. You just shave that dog. That's all you
keep it simple.
Yeah. You just shave that dog. That's all you need to do.
So just kind of finish us out here,
Sure.
and this might be, you may not have had enough time to really consider this or it to affect you, but do you think that expecting as a mother, is it changing at all your thoughts about education or being in a classroom, or maybe what you're worried about for your own child's future?
So I can tell you, just work in general. I don't want to work. The dream would be to be a stay-at-home mom. Financially, I cannot be a stay-at-home mom. I mean,
especially if you want to build that house eventually.
Yeah, right. Or upgrade to this new place. And both myself and my husband work 2 jobs. Because today is, I mean, it's rough out there. A McDonald's costs $16 for, one person. So, like, things have gone up. And, like, man, I'm going to say, like, I'm going to be very real. Like, there's some days where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to fill up my gas tank. You know, like, I financially struggle. With my beginning, throw it back to the beginning, when I was with my abusive ex, he took control of me financially. He would have me take out credit cards, and then he would just charge it. Here, you can buy.
Lord.
He's like, buy me this $800.
Not a fan of this guy personally.
No one is. Buy me this $900 handgun because you have the credit. I can't get approved for credit cards
because he's already blown it.
Yeah. And so now my credit score is tanked, and I have about $10,000 or more of credit card debt alone. I see.
That would be daunting.
Yeah, and
that'd
so
be worrisome.
So I'm working on a credit recovery program.
Yeah.
I work 2 jobs. I'm pregnant now. So like, if I could just not come back to work ever. Yeah. I would.
Right.
But
that's just not feasible.
It's not feasible for me.
Yeah.
I would love it for, I love it for other people. I'm jealous. I'm living through you. But for me, like, if I, after my time here, and I've seen, I would be the homeschool mom. Like, I would be the mom that stays at home and homeschools their kid, because, like, I feel confident as my role as an educator that I could do it at home. But also, I don't want to raise, like, little weirdos, not hating on homeschooled kids, but, like,
you want to be socialized too.
Yeah, I want to socialize. I would go places. We'd take education into like our own hands, and I feel like I would be like, that would be my role. That's my dream.
Like actual homeschool, like where they're actually trying. I think that's the idea.
Yeah,
is that they're going to engage them with the curriculum, but also get them out at other things, as opposed to just shelter them from the world.
Yeah, like that would be the dream. That would be the dream if my husband was like a heart surgeon. But he's not. So I'll be working.
Way to go, Colin.
Yeah, right.
Not being a heart surgeon.
Come on.
I definitely had some debt to deal with, and like I said, I didn't start teaching until I was 30, so we were already not. I mean, in that time I had not amassed a fortune. I was still working at Denny's. But it was my 3rd year of teaching, I believe, maybe 4th, and I had where I taught 1 year here. I got riffed, and I moved to Georgetown. And so it took a while to get caught up and get to a point where it was gas prices were not as bad back then, but they were still high. But it was where every day coming home, that 20-minute drive, that as you got an hour, that's a lot, but it would eat up our funds. And I've told this story to several people, especially younger people, talking about, career choices, because there was this one day when I was headed home from Danville, and every day I would call Tanera and I would say, what do we have? My wife, who definitely is better with our finances, that it's the only reason we're above water and doing well is because of her. So you need to marry Tanera first, is what I'm saying.
I'll put that on my list.
Put that on your list, yeah. But I called her from the gas station. I was like, how much can I get today? And this one day, she had started doing a daycare stuff at home, and I had been teaching long enough that we were just good, you know. And she said, you know what? I don't think you have to call anymore. You can just fill it up whenever you need to.
So good.
I cannot, and you probably get that feeling, just the thought of it.
I get it.
The feeling I got on that, it's this elation and this like,
yeah,
this sigh of relief, this weight just fell off of me.
Well, I'll be dead honest. Like, I'm a very honest person, very open book. This is the first year I've had a savings account.
Yeah.
That actually has like over
money in it.
Yeah, like over 500 in it. Like, and like,
good.
You gotta think, like, I'm in my early 20s. I'm only
more and more people your age, I think, are struggling.
I'm only 3 years out of college. You know, like, so like. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a financial struggle until some time passes. And, I just gotta be bougie on a budget. Like, I just gotta, like, work with a budget.
Bougie on a budget,
deal.
I like it.
Yeah.
You gotta find those little things. You really do.
I really do.
You have to find those little, like, luxuriances. Those little...
shout out to the Country Closet in Flora. I don't know if you've heard of that, but, like, I'm a big thrifter.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the joke, like, it's because I can't afford, not used clothes.
Yeah.
But actually I enjoy it. Like you gotta find like the fun
I like places I love places like that.
Yeah.
My jam before Amazon was around, and when I was super poor and in those days we were calling, is every once in a while I'd get like, I'd know I had like 10, 15, 20 bucks I could spend, and I'd go onto eBay and I'd just find random stuff from China that would take like 3 months to get there, and then a few months later it was a random present time. There's some little cord or little stuff for
online shopping was my enemy for a while too, because I couldn't.
I kept under control back then for sure.
I couldn't handle the endorphin rush that I would get. When
now
Christmas.
With Amazon is
it's like Christmas every day.
I do have to stay away from that because my shopping list for vinyl and 4K movies is like, I'll just go and check and click around. Anything drop? Oh, I gotta buy it today. It's 30% off.
Yeah, like there's a reason why I'm financially in the place I am. I just bought an $80 litter box this weekend because it was $140 full priced, and it was a flash
You've
deal.
already explained enough to me. I totally understand. I would have done the same thing.
Sorry. It was like
I would have done exactly the same thing.
And it's not even one of the automatic ones.
I know.
I'm still gonna be like manually scooping out treasures.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It was stainless steel though. It's gonna match my new appliances. That's what I told myself.
Oh, that's how much you love your cats. I'm going to give you a palace to crap in.
Yes.
Beautiful stainless steel crapper.
Yes, and they're going to love it.
Well, I have had a really great time talking to you. It's been nice working with you the last couple of years. Quick baby names. What are your ideas?
Oh, I can't share.
I know. I figured not. I wasn't actually. Let's do fake baby names.
A student did mention Cornelius.
Cornelius.
But see, that was before they knew I was having a girl, so I guess Cornelia would be.
Cornelia. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why it took me forever to go to that. Cornelia it is.
Yes, Cornelia. Baby Cornelia.
Cornelia Renegade Bird. What's your last name?
Borah.
Borah Burden, I said.
Borah, like the lake. That's what I always have to tell people.
Yeah. And it was so close to your last name.
It was. I was Miss Borton last year.
Yeah.
My husband likes
somebody
to joke.
told me it's Borah, and I was like, it's just something about us being so close. It's something
it is. My husband
didn't go far in the phone book, did you, Taylor?
No, but my husband likes to make the joke that it only changed a ton. Oh, yeah. It's rough. Man. Yeah.
Well, I think we will leave it. No, thank you so much, Taylor, for talking to me. It's been a real treat getting to know you. And I'm sorry to see you go, and it'd be lovely to see your family grow, but I do wish the best for you, and I can see this is definitely a good move for you to be with family and all that other stuff. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And to Richland County High School, you have mattered quite a bit.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Once again, thank you to Taylor Borah for sitting down with me and being so generous with her time and with her personal story. She actually sent a message for me. I let her know that this was going to be posted soon, and I asked her if there was anything she'd like to say, and she said, I would like to thank all of the students and staff at Richland County High School for all of the learning opportunities that they gave me as a new educator. So, best of luck to you on your continuing journey, Mrs. Borah. and the birth of your first child and your school year starting out in a new district closer to your family. And we at Richland County truly do wish the best to you. So thank you all for listening. And if you caught us on VAT Club's YouTube or Facebook pages, thank you for watching. And don't forget, no matter what, you matter. Our School Matters, with your host, Jeffrey Ryden. Produced by the Richland County VAT Club. Executive produced by Jeffrey Ryden. Multicam video recording operator is Brendan McGlasson. Theme and incidental music composed and performed by The Pets. Research provided by VAT Club members. Our School Matters is hosted by the Voices of Richland County Podcast Network, an RCHS VAT Club affiliate. Please rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and we may read your comments on our show. You can also contact us at vatclub@rccu1.net. Subscribe to us on your preferred podcast app, or you can see videos of all new episodes starting with Season 2 on the Richland County VAT Club Facebook and YouTube pages. Excellent.
Okay.
Good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's better.
All right, see, that's another thing I always do. Love people. I hate it. I hate it too. If it's students on here, then I get 10 minutes of them doing that, and that's it.
Like ASMR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, that I can handle, but it's the lip smacking. Oh, I'm immediately out. Brendan, do I look good? Out of 10? What do you got?
You look no worse than usual.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. That's the confidence I needed.
Mm-hmm.
All right.